All right, hello, welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. We're back tonight. We're playing more Swords of the Serpentine. But before we get to that, we have to do our weekly check-in. Long, what movies have you recently seen?
I watched The Green Room, The Shallows, Inglourious Bastards, Last Night in Soho, and Circles.
That's
5 movies
last week. Green Room, so good.
I love that movie. That's such a good
awesome.
movie. What'd you think?
It is. I enjoyed it, like the setting, how it was. Yeah, it was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow, man. What prompted this sudden splurge into watching movies?
Nothing to do. Just hit random, see what comes up.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a very on-brand response.
Such a mystery to me, man. I cannot.
Oh my goodness. Steven and I still joke about Log because Steven was because Steve and I, we're like normal human beings. So we complain about our days all the time. And so Steven once asked Long, what would make you have a bad day? And he's just like, yeah, I don't really have bad days. And Steven presses him. And finally he's like, if I missed a workout. And I'm just like, man, to live your life. Just to live your life. I don't know.
Yeah. It'd be fun.
It would. Okay. Anyhow, so yeah, we're ready to get going. That's this is great. I love the fact that you're watching movies. This is amazing. We can actually start. I can continue to make movie references, and you might be able to start picking up.
I'll get them eventually.
And then
I
will be the lead ball at the end.
You'll get some.
Between you and Joe, across our streams, between you and Joe, you can carry the I don't know about that.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Oh, I just noticed that. Oh, I just noticed that 3-Eyed Cat got Mythic Bastionland. Mine didn't come in yet. I'm waiting for mine. Mythic Bastionland.
Mine didn't come yet either.
Yeah, it's out for delivery. Very excited. Should be here any day. So very excited.
I'm getting Above and Below the Haunted Edition very soon.
That looks really
cool.
Games. Samesies. I just got the music today, so you probably did too.
Maybe. I haven't checked my email much, so could be. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, now, all right. Anyhow, I guess we gotta play this game. So mutable. I didn't actually check to see if we got anything in the mail. Did we check the mail?
I did not check the mail.
No,
I was rushing. It's coming.
I'm gonna put us on pause. I'll be back. Yeah. All right, let's start her up. We're getting really close to the end here, y'all. I think we got 2, maybe 3 episodes left. We'll see how it goes, obviously. But I think that's kind of where we're at. So we're closing in. Last time around, we started up. We were on the Indomita, this river ship that you all have been traveling on, and you were getting attacked by shades, some kind of shade spirits, and you were scrambling to help the crew. Arkadiy was 3 stooges knocking heads together and pulling sailors from the railing. So Levita, at one point, you dropped anchor and then started trying to save people who were drowning by pelting them with stones while they were in the river.
But it worked.
Chauncey and Fortuna. It totally worked. Chauncey, Fortuna, you were just snapping people back to reality, stern words, sway tax, that kind of stuff. Vincent, you paid a very difficult price. As you eventually negotiated with one of these shades to stop attacking the ship, and you offered them part of yourself. So you essentially sacrificed several of your formative memories in life, so that you would no longer have them. So your days. So you can define exactly how that is. That's up for you to define. But a lot of those core memories that shaped who Vincent is are gone now. They were given over. But after the deal, the shades did leave. They kind of kept up their end of the bargain. You were able to rescue most of the sailors from the river, but unfortunately there were some casualties. Your captain, Solano, did note that dropping the anchor basically prevented the Indomita from having a far worse fate. They still had some damage, still had some missing people, and said that there was a riverside village called Haven on one of the bends of the Serpentine that you could stop at. You could resupply. But en route there, there was the river got kind of overwhelmed with mist at one point, but you had saved enough of the sailors that it wasn't an issue, actually. They were able to competently navigate through it. And eventually you got to Haven. A couple of sailors, captain, the cook, you all took a rowboat, you got over to the village, and you noticed it was strangely quiet and there really wasn't much activity at all. You started exploring a bit, and you discovered some signs of violence in the dockmaster's office. Somebody had snuck into his office, likely from a kind of a skylight of sorts, and likely killed him. There was a building at one point filled with the slumbering nest of very large and familiar-looking snakes. And then in the tavern, Arkadiy and Chauncey, classic Arkadiy and Chauncey problems. They went to a tavern. Chauncey walked right up to a bunch of creepy-looking dudes, started talking to them in his snakeskin outfit about how great it is to, have a snakeskin outfit, and they took umbrage with that. Arkadiy saw a woman unhinge her jaw and devour an entire dead rabbit in one big bite, and obviously violence began at that point. So let's go ahead. We're gonna start her up. So where is everybody right now? So we're gonna start a brand new, fresh round of combat, and so we're gonna start there. Inside the tavern, we've got Chauncey and Arkadiy. Arkadiy, you put quite a hurt on the one woman who had swallowed the rabbit, and she is like bleeding profusely from her neck, which is quite swollen because like the rabbit is kind of lodged in it. She has about 4 others around her as well. Chauncey, you are over by the bar. You managed to basically set a bottle on fire, a bottle of liquor on fire. The bar caught on fire. 2 of these guys got caught on fire, and then you scrambled away. But there's still about 4 over by you. And there's also 1 dude in the door that leads out. The rest of you, Fortuna, Solavita, Vincent, you are outside. You have been moving away from that giant snake house. And you close in on the tavern, and you can see the flickering flames coming up here and there. So that's where everybody is currently. Chauncey, if you could do me a favor, roll a d6 -2.
Oh, okay. I will do that. D6.
Yeah.
-2.
This is essentially the fire damage that you would have.
Wow! Look at that big sexy 1.
Okay, it's a minimum of 1 damage, so you're still gonna at least do 1. So you always got that going for you. Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna give it to Arkadiy. Arkadiy, you've stabbed into this woman's neck. She's bleeding profusely from her neck. Like you can see that she's starting to sway and not necessarily. She doesn't look all there. You've certainly taken the task, but you can see she's got now these supporters who have come to her side as well. Others that are pulling out weapons, some of which you can tell as they get close have like these little sections of skin with scales on them. One of them maybe with an eye that looks more reptilian than it does human. None of them look exactly right. So Arkadiy, what would you like to do?
Arkadiy yells out, "Dear cousin, perhaps it is time to run out of the tavern, yes?"
I'm trying! He's like commando crawling across the floor.
So I think Arkadiy would. So he's basically surrounded, right, by these 4 guys now.
But by the rules of the game, it's not like you couldn't try to get out from. I would say if you're trying to get out the door, I would probably want to check to get through it because there was one guy who was intentionally blocking the way out.
Like I had to do an athletics check to try and.
I think that's what Arkadiy would realize. This is a no-win situation, and it's not going to get us closer to our goals. So as he sees Chauncey trying to make his way out, he'll bull rush through the people surrounding him and just try to push past the guy in the door.
All right, I like it. Go ahead and just give me an athletics test, and we'll see how you do. I should probably log into Foundry.
Well, and while that's being rolled, welcome raiders from Crit Crafters. Thanks for reading.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Ray. We're just getting started. Perfect timing.
You get an opportunity to see me possibly die here. I'm going to put 3 of my athletics on this roll. I get a 7 in total.
Oh gosh, 7 is more than enough as you come racing at this big lug in the middle of the door. He like takes up the doorway, and he does this like swing at you, almost like Andre the Giant style, and you're able to just kind of deftly move up and underneath him and out into the fresh air, which is good because the smoke is starting to fill. Okay, and because you have gotten out, I'll say that you don't need to roll for suffocation. So you are out there, and I'll say Vincent, Fortuna, Solavita, you see like kind of bursting out of the front door of the tavern. You guys are coming at it, we'll say from the east side, and we'll say the southern side of the tavern has the door. You see Arkadiy burst out, and so you're now able to see him as well. Okay, Arkadiy, who's getting to go next?
Oh, Chauncey, for sure.
All right, Chauncey, what would you like to do?
So part of my last thing you had me do athletics to try and work my way to get to the exit. I will continue that because he desperately wants to.
Yeah. Last time was to get out from behind the bar because you had put yourself back there.
Yeah, I made good choices.
So. Okay. All right. So just give me an athletics test.
Okay.
To pop out.
I will do that, and I will very much hope to succeed at that.
We'll see.
Put a little into it. Nope.
Okay.
You put a little into it.
That was the last time I wasted a lot of athletics trying to dodge, and it was it was failure after failure last session.
Okay. You try to follow Arkadiy. You you try to just do the identical move he does. You race up to this guy, and he essentially swings at you. You duck, and while he doesn't punch you outright, his bicep kind of catches you and just sort of flings you to the side, and you remain inside the tavern. And now I need you to roll a health test. If you would, please. This is for suffocation.
Oh,
you got
the
this.
room is beginning to fill with smoke.
Okay. Let me roll a 1 on that. I'm just going to fail as much as possible.
Okay.
There's something so epic coming around the corner.
Yeah,
you got
to get around the corner.
Quite the hero.
At this point, at the way this whole scenario's gone, I don't think I'm making it to that corner.
When you take over Captain Solano, he's going to be a badass.
Well, I think Chauncey will be the perfect first ghost for the game.
Yeah. Okay. So what does that mean for you? You failed the health test. First, you are called dazed right now. This is just your first failure. So what this basically means is that until you are able to get out from this, until you're able to kind of pass, until you're able to get out from where you're suffocating, you're going to be dazed. This increases the difficulty of your tests by 2, basically.
Okay.
So something is normally a 4, it's now a 6, etc. Okay. All right. So Chauncey, you are stuck in here with him. Who is going next?
One of the family, the rest of the family is approaching, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. You don't have to necessarily physically see them to say that they go next. You're just orienting the scene. So who do you think is going to go next? They all just saw Arkadiy.
I've got to go with the man of mystery, Vincent.
Okay. All right, Vincent.
I'll rush up into the burning tavern, see what's going on.
You rush up. Do you go up to the door that you just see Arkadiy burst out of? The smoke is blowing. You hear maybe Arkadiy cough once or twice as he clears the smoke. You rush up to the door and you see there is it's barely hanging from its hinges. It's kind of slapping shut and opening, slapping shut. It's not intact. But you see on the other side of it, there is a mountain of a man that is blocking the doorway. And inside there's smoke, there's fire. Chauncey, you can see stumbling on the ground a bit, and there's others that are beginning to swarm. What would you like to do with that? So you're repositioned, but you can still have an action here.
Yeah, seeing Chauncey struggling in the fire, I'll remember back when I learned his true name, back in the years where I spent time in Eversink. I followed Chauncey to Felipe's shrine or statue, where he went to pay respects.
Oh.
And after he paid the respects, I lingered around, and Felipe's ghost came apparent to me, and he whispered Chauncey's true name.
Whoa.
Something along the lines of words of confidence.
Aww.
Is what, in Italian, is what Chauncey's name. And I'll shout that towards him, giving him a boost of 5 refresh tokens.
That's correct.
Whoa.
Yeah. So they're specific to you, Chauncey. Only you can use them. And it's once per adventure. This is like a one-time thing.
That is so cool.
Yeah. We narrated that in between ours, that was one of Vincent's goals, was to collect the names of the family members to help protect them. And this is mechanically one of the potential benefits of them. So
that is
you have
so
5
awesome.
refresh tokens to use, Chauncey. as you hear this. Okay.
Get out of that, Chauncey. I've got this guy.
That is not your action, by the way. That is something you can do without taking action. So you can actually still do something.
So I'll distract this guy in the doorway with some sorcery.
Okay. All right. Are you attempting to hurt him, or are you attempting to sort of dislodge him from blocking the exit? What do you think?
This will be... I'll do a maneuver on him. Let's try that.
Yeah.
With my
that sounds
chains.
good.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Got 6.
All right. So that is a success, obviously. It's been a while since we've done one of these. That's basically sets the difficulty for him. And so I have a choice now. So is your goal to like move him, like to knock him down, or to just like what would you say like your maneuver is going to be?
Yeah, I'll knock him over.
Okay. So I have a choice then. Okay, so if successful, your roll sets the difficulty, and I either have to accept the effect of the maneuver, which is to get knocked down, you said, or I have to suffer damage equal to your roll -2. I will go ahead and accept the difficult. I'll accept the effect because he probably doesn't even see you coming. So what does it look like as you knock him out of the way?
Yeah, coming behind him. I've got my chains extending, wrapping around his ankles, yanking his feet out from under him.
Okay. And so they pull out, he's like, boom, and his face plants down right onto the threshold of the door. He's still obviously alive, but he's now prone. And since you were using your sorcery, you didn't tap into any corruption, did you?
Correct, no corruption, just a regular
okay.
roll.
So no corruption. Okay, who goes next then for you?
I'll pass it to Fortuna.
All right, Fortuna. What you think?
So Fortuna is... I'm not entirely sure. I think what I would like to try to do, I'm trying to get the attention, like I'm trying to move us in the direction of the ship and kind of get the attention of the folks that we sort of left kind of on the dock area. So I'm trying to... I'm willing to make a preparedness spend to say that I have some type of like whistle or something on me that I would be able to quickly get their attention. So something that would make a very loud sound.
You could do that if you want. You could also just roll sway as well. Like I feel like you're not that far away. You could just shout. So I would say you don't necessarily, if you prefer preparedness so that you could spend some okay.
Out of sway. I've got 1 point of sway left, so that's why I was thinking.
And you have flashback because you have 8. So we could say that we see a flashback of you like packing your things, and we see one of the things you're packing in is this whistle. So give me a roll, and to see if you were successful at that. You can spend however many preparedness points as you want to ensure you pass.
3 for this.
Okay.
I rolled a 6.
That's how it works. Yes, it is. You produce a whistle. It is not unlike the ones maybe that the City Watch carries, and you let loose a loud twirl, and suddenly you hear the shouts of some of the sailors, like Captain Solano and such, are now closing in. They're probably over by, they're not going to get there instantly, obviously, but you can hear the sounds of them like shouting, "Oh, we're coming, Matriarch," as they begin to move past the dockmaster's yard. So you will have reinforcements probably next round.
I love that it's a City Watch whistle, because that was one of the things when I was first making Fortuna that I was considering as like an item, because literally the City Watch has like whistles that they have, and it just didn't quite make sense for kind of how I built her. But I love that that's coming back here at the end.
Well, there you go. Okay. And you can, honestly, add it to your equipment. Like, it's not something that I think is like, since you have it with you, just if you want to keep it on you, that's fine. But who's going to go next is the real question.
I'm getting a big X from Kipser that she does not want Solavita to go.
She is the last one to go. So if she goes last, that means they all basically could go 2 times in a row. That's what they're
Thank you. I appreciate all the hand signals that gives us reminding me of like, don't be an idiot.
I'm seeing Solavita X. I'm seeing Aaron's like shake out. Yeah.
No.
Okay. So they're gonna go next. Is that what you're telling me?
Bad guys go
All right.
next.
Okay. So I got a couple bad guys here. By a couple, I mean, I think 10. Yeah. Okay. They're all going to go, obviously. So I'm just going to, for ease, do them in the order that makes most sense to me. So I'm going to say the one by the door is going to scramble up all of a sudden because having just gotten knocked down. And he's going to turn around to see Vincent standing before him. And he's going to take a few steps out of the door to pummel Vincent with this huge bloodied cudgel that he pulls from his waist. So I'm going to go after you, Vincent, here. I'm going to spend a couple points to make sure I hit. I'm glad I did. That's a 4. 4 to hit.
Right on the money.
And yeah. And then damage-wise, so he's going to step forward. I think these guys actually have... I think he's one of my brutes, so I might have some extra damage I could do to you. Let me see. Yes, I can. Look at that. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to get an extra die of damage against you, as this one's going to turn around and roll absolute dog shit on his roll. 5 points of damage.
I'll be a 9.
Okay.
When
So
5
it's all
is
health,
dog
obviously.
shit. Wow.
I had 2d6s. That's 2d6
Oh,
plus 1,
okay.
and I rolled a 5. That's pretty bad. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Inside then.
Jeremy's not clenching at all.
Yeah. Inside
Yeah.
then.
Not at
There
all.
are pucker seats on my chair right now.
Well, I'm going to say that the bartender whose arm is on fire, obviously, he took some fire damage. He is going to spend his turn getting his arm unfired. So he's going to actually take his turn. I'm going to roll an athletics test for him to put this out. Okay, so he passes that, and then he'll just kind of begin pushing towards the door, but he's not going to say he's out yet. He does have to roll suffocation to see if he falls under what happens to Chauncey. He is fine. Then the other guy you set on fire is not going to do that. He is just going to leap at you and try to stab you with one of his many daggers. So
Rude.
You'll be able to do more fire damage here in a second if you're still alive. Okay. All right, that is a 4 to hit. So I'm going to roll some damage. 3 points of damage.
to make it harder to hit you.
Yeah, make the spend. Make the spend.
Yeah. So you can make a spend
to?
to increase the TN to be hit. Is that right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
For
you can-
one attack.
For that attack.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Or you could
You can-
make a spend to increase your armor for the
I
whole
feel like
round.
what I should have done last time was to make the
Yes.
spend to increase my armor.
Okay.
Yes, gain armor 4 for 1 round in combat,
You wanna do
or
that?
gain +3 to your health or morale threshold for 1 attack. Those are
Yeah, I feel like increasing my armor threshold is overall the better spend because there's probably gonna be more than one
I think it
person
makes sense.
attacking me.
Very much. They're about to
I
dogpile.
would almost like to flavor it that, like, at this point, when Chauncey is cornered and he's not a natural fighter, he just Spider-Mans it up and just taunts. I'll make the point of taunt to just be spouting the most vile insults about Borda and how worthless she is. And, like, just like, of course I'm wearing a snakeskin suit because your god is stupid. And you're stupid for worshiping her. And I gutted her last servitor. And I'll gut you too once I'm out of here.
And so you can see, like, there's this intense hatred, obviously, that's going to flare in them. And maybe that hatred gets them to swing a little bit off balance here and there. Only 3 points of damage from that one.
Whew, so that means none.
But I have more.
Oh, no.
Okay. Oh, I have a lot more, man.
I know. That's why I made that
That's why
spend.
yeah. The round
All
spend
right.
was definitely the way to go for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna send 2 more. I'm gonna send 2 more at Chauncey.
Oh, God.
Okay. That's a 7 to hit. That was a 6 on the die.
That does hit. Yep.
And then I'm going to spend a couple points, I should say, to get an extra die of damage, as they are now really pissed.
I'm full up on bind wounds. It's gonna be fine.
7 points on that one.
Okay.
As one of them picks up a chair and just smashes it down on you. They're not even caring anymore about weapons.
Okay, well, I'm not in the negatives yet, but
Well,
only
your armor. Don't forget, you're taking your armor spent, right?
23.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm literally at 0 because I already got stabbed prior to this.
That's right.
Yep.
If it makes you feel any better, you're about to get stabbed again.
Yay!
Another one
Oh boy!
is gonna come at you as well.
Are gonna the stories that you're gonna have to tell after this encounter, because you're gonna live and you're
All right,
gonna survive.
4 to hit, which should be good, I think.
That's it. Yep.
Spend for some more dice. Oh God. I'm sorry, buddy.
That's okay. That's how it goes.
13 points of damage. I just rolled 2 6s.
Oh my god.
I'm fucking dead.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
no, you're
I
not.
was at 0, and I could subtract
your armor?
5 from that because
So
I
you
have
take
1 armor
8.
for myself and 4 for the spend. So I still go to -8.
Okay,
That takes
which means
me to
you're
-8.
seriously, you're seriously wounded, which means you have to make a immediate difficulty 4 health test to stay conscious. And because you failed your
So it's a difficulty
suffocation
6.
test,
So roll a
difficulty
d6, get a
6.
6. Okay.
hang on.
Hold on.
Before you
sorry.
roll,
Wait,
Sorry,
you can
sorry,
hold on.
sorry.
spend
shit.
investigative ability points to boost that by +3. Don't forget. If you can
clicked
justify
it.
an investigative ability.
You would do the spend.
This is why you guys got to stop
would
being influenced
do-
by Long. Just ripping the roll. You got to make the spend beforehand. Be strategic. You can't just rip it.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, to be fair, I clicked it, and so I will own
Okay.
I made a bad choice
I
last
appreciate
session.
that. You are unconscious.
Damn.
Okay, so healing is only, so here I'm just going to go through the list of your effects right now. So you're unconscious. Healing is only half as effective on you as normal. You lose an additional health point every half hour until stabilized. Difficulties of all general ability tests increase by 2 until at or above 0 health, which means you have a difficulty of 4 now, +4 on stuff. And difficulties for general ability tests remain raised, et cetera, et cetera. So none of that's going to be as important to you just
All
yet
right.
because you're unconscious. Okay.
But this may
but I will
affect what
say
other
that
people do.
Vincent and Arkadiy, you very much see Chauncey is taunting them, and it backfires as they turn around and they smash down tables and chairs. And one of them you see pulls a dagger out and just leaps off like the bar and just stabs down. And you hear Chauncey scream out in pain, and then you don't hear Chauncey anymore. And I still have more to go. I'm gonna have the ones that were around Arkadiy start pouring out of the doors as well, chasing after Arkadiy and chasing after Vincent. I'm gonna say, though, yeah, I'm gonna throw 2 at. 2 of them are gonna come to Vincent, and 3 of them are gonna come to Arkadiy. So it's gonna be 3. Each of you are basically gonna have 3 mobs on you. That
Okay.
makes sense. I'll say the rabbit-throated woman, which is a weird phrase, is coming after Arkadiy because why not? So I'll start with her. 4 to hit on Arkadiy, and she's going to 4 damage as well. She comes in. This one of the other ones is going to come out. Has this cudgel out. Like again, they all have just like daggers and cudgels, very like basic makeshift weaponry. None of them look to be particularly well armed. But 2 more are going to come and start to flank around Arkadiy. That's a 1 actually on one of the attacks. That's going to be a fail on that attack. And then the
There we
second
go.
one is going to slide in.
That's the
and it's
dice
a
balance we
6 on the
need.
die. So that one will hit. That's a 7. 7 total. And damage-wise on Arkadiy, 5 points of damage on Arkadiy on the second attack. And then Vincent.
I'm still positive.
Okay, good deal.
Cool.
All right, Vincent, 2 more are going to come onto you. All right. First one is going to be a 5 to hit. If you guys are making spends that interrupting this, just let me know. I have a lot of dice to roll, so just call it out if you want to do it. 4 points of damage for the first one, Vincent.
I'll take the hit.
And the second one will come up surrounding you as well. 7 on the die, or 6 on the die, 7 to hit. And then damage-wise, 4 more points of damage.
I'll take that as well, dropping me to 1 HP.
Okay. So currently, just to reset everything, there are 6 targets outside. The woman with the rabbit halfway down her throat, who's bleeding profusely and kind of like barely standing anymore, is like swinging still at Arkadiy. He's got 2 more on him as well. Vincent has the large bouncer that was covering the door swinging away at him, plus 2 more. Inside, there are the bartender, the whittling dagger guy, and 2 others that are surrounding on Chauncey. And I need to roll suffocation tests for 3 more of them. Okay, one of them actually failed their suffocation, so one of them actually is going to have more difficulty attacking. All right, so that is my turn. Solavita, it is your turn.
Save us all. Save us all.
Shit's gone down.
Okay, so right now I haven't taken an action, and last week I had rolled a stealth of 9. Would that still be in effect?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. At this point,
Okay.
they're so their attention is focused now on Arkadiy and Vincent that they probably don't notice you. I'm okay with
Sure.
that.
So did Arkadiy and Vincent saw that Chauncey had gone down. I can see that Arkadiy has come out of the bar. Would I be able to assume that Chauncey is in there, or that would be out of character knowledge?
I think it's fair to say that Solavita might be wondering just where the hell Chauncey is. I think that's perfectly fair.
Fair enough.
To say that he might be inside.
I mean,
Now that I've set up
he's a wuss. He screams in pain when he gets stabbed.
a great baseline for my bullshit, and I got you to agree with everything.
Okay.
I'm hoping to roll for burglary to like jump through a window or slip through the side of the door towards where Chauncey is to grab him. I can spend 1 point of leechcraft to wake him up from unconsciousness and start maneuvering him out there. If I need to take a turn 2 times in a row, I can do that to get everything out.
I think it's definitely going to take 2 turns because he is literally being surrounded and piled upon by 4. But I think this all can work in 2 turns. Yeah. So
I'm essentially trying to rob them of Chauncey. I'm trying to burgle Chauncey out of the pub.
So you're saying I'm a treasure to be burgled.
Oh, God. Well, arguably, you
Never
could
mind.
also
She
just
sets
be a
the rest
back.
of the tavern on fire.
So yeah, my goal is I'm going to try to burgle in through a window or something like that. Seems to make sense to me. See Chauncey, leechcraft him up, and start to like try to get him out of there. And obviously they're going to see me as soon as I do an actual action like leechcraft.
All right. I would say give me a burglary test to get in unseen.
Happy to do it.
Yeah. And so we'll say, I think I described it as not having windows, but we'll say with the fire, some of the wood panels are buckling on the walls.
Or,
and so you
or the
find a
door.
seam that you slip in. Yeah.
Let me see here. That is a 1. Luckily, I spent 4 for 5.
Oh, thank goodness.
With that spend, we'll say that you slip like towards the back where the bar is. We'll say some of the wall has started to fall off. You slip in through the back, and you can see in the middle of this very small tavern, there are 4 people. One of whom is like putting the fire out of their arm. There's 3 more that have now literally piled on Chauncey and are swinging, stabbing, and smashing things. I would say, I think the burglary lets you get inside without them seeing you. I don't think there is any way where you can take him with them not seeing you because they are.
Yes,
agreed. Their knives are in his belly right now. So
very much, agreed on that one.
I would want
Does it hurt here?
probably athletics
Here so
to
much,
get him
but
out of there.
right in here.
Okay. How many?
All the knives.
With the audience points right now, we're doing that as a flashback with the audience points to gain bonuses.
You can get like a
okay.
basic, like the most basic spends of an investigator. None of the specific spends, but like a +3 on a roll or something like that.
Which I would want for
get.
athletics for this. So you kind of see a flashback of maybe Chauncey, Solovita, Dionisio, and Valentina, and all of the kids having like, they're not quite the 18-year-olds that they are at the current time. Maybe they're like 14, 15, and they're just in this sort of somewhere in one of their properties jungle gym that they built, where they're just running them through some courses to learn how easily it is to burgle and jump into some places. You're
the best and worst aunt ever.
I am the best and worst aunt ever, yes. And like Solovita and Chauncey are arguing a little bit about it, and then Solovita like jumps, does the course perfectly, and comes back, and then like, now you at Chauncey, and then that's what she's remembering as she's going. And we cut before he even gets to try.
Of course.
Roll athletics. You get a +3 from that, and if there's any athletics points you want to spend, obviously you could do that.
I'm going to spend my 1 remaining athletics point, so just a +3 on this one.
Okay.
So that is a 1 with a 1 with a 3 for 5.
Okay, so we'll flavor it as like they feel like they've killed him, and so they're now getting up off of him, and you're hiding the smoke, the fire. This place is burning down. And they kind of turn their attention towards the door that looks like they're getting ready to move away from Chauncey, and you use that moment to start dragging him back towards where you just came in.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's the end of your first turn. So give me I need you to roll a health test, however.
Yes.
Because you're in here for suffocation.
Not a problem. I'm going to... God, my rolls have been absolute crap right now. I'm going to spend 2 of my health points on this health test.
Okay.
Oh my god!
A 3 is actually a pass on this.
Okay, good. So
that is a pass.
Oh.
Okay, so you managed for the first round.
That is 3 ones in a row. I've rolled 3 ones on the d6s in a row.
You have.
Mechanically, I will tell you that the longer you stay in here, the more difficult that test is.
I do not plan on staying in here.
I assume so. Okay, so you have pulled him away and back into the back where you came in. They're moving towards the front like they're going to charge out. You have a second action if you want, assuming you're giving it to yourself.
I will take the first action of this next round. I'm going to use 1 leechcraft point to bring Chauncey back from from unconsciousness. I'll heal you later. Right now, you're up. I pull a vial of some of our Manwallen homemade terrible potions. It smells awful. It works. And I just shove it in his face. Stop. And it's like the worst thing you've ever smelt. Oh, like burnt toast with rotted, just like eggs on top of it that's gone through the oven, and then had shoe leather, like hot day shoe leather just shoved on top of it.
Why are you letting your cat shit in my mouth?
And I just like, Chauncey, get the fuck up. We got, wait, where's my accent? There we go. We have to get the fuck out of here. What the fuck were you doing calling all these idiots to stab you? I don't necessarily know that, but
I tried to set them on fire, and then I kind of got woozy.
Great. We're also smoke inhalation is a big problem, and it's the death in both fires. So let's get the fuck out of the hole over here. And she's gonna start dragging him towards the hole while he complains.
Gonna run faster than you.
Yeah, like you did before, huh?
So Levita, you need another health test.
Yep. Okay, I'm
gonna your turn.
Dump another 2 points in it because I'm scared. That's 6.
There you go.
That is a success. So you will not start suffocating it, and you're at the back of this place. And I would say, be careful how much you talk, because you are trying to do this quietly and sneakily, and they are literally 5 feet from you. So
we'll whisper, yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So they will probably hear some of this. Okay, who's gonna go next?
I'll let Chauncey go next. Get out. We need to get out of the hole.
Okay.
Do you want to wait to have Chauncey go? No, never mind.
No, I don't. I want Chauncey to get the fuck
Chauncey
out.
is seriously wounded at -8. He is literally 2 damage away from basically dying.
Chauncey, if it's my turn, Chauncey just stumbles away as best he can, and that's all he does.
Okay. That's totally fine. If you're not doing anything else, I'll say no roll.
I just assume like he literally just came to consciousness and is like,
I'm shoving you out the hole.
Okay. I'd love to be all brave and heroic, but that's no. He's on the verge of dying, and you literally pulled him out of smoke.
Yeah, you burst out the back. You stumble into it a little bit, and you're able to get a breath of fresh air. It hurts to breathe. Obviously, you've just been stabbed several times where you normally do the breathing. So, but nonetheless, it's good to be out of that. Okay, who goes next then, Chauncey?
On one hand, I want to say Arkadiy, but you know what? I'm gonna stick with the motif of the man of mystery. Let's bring Vincent back in.
Okay. Vincent, I would say both you and Arkadiy were able to see Solavita kind of sneak in through all of that, but you also see these extra reinforcements that were killing Chauncey are now coming toward where you and Arkadiy are, outside the front of the door. So to some degree, you think maybe Solavita has helped Chauncey. You probably don't have a super clear vision of it, but you see enough to know that she's in there helping. What would you like to do, Vincent? You're surrounded by 3 currently. Arkadiy's got 3 on him, and there's 4 more coming at you.
One lucky bastard. And I'm going to cast some sorcery. I'll use my Orb of Tears and sort of cast an illusion on myself to make it look like I'm one of their companions, to make it look more or less likely to attack me.
Okay, so you're trying to deter...
It's just flavored. It's morale attack flavored.
Okay, got it. I like it. All right, roll your attack.
I'll do sorcery
on the big guy. We're saying the big bouncer guy.
Yeah, the doorman that was attacking me. So that's 3 point spend. And if I succeed on this, I'd like to do a social spend for increase, 1 die increase
on damage. Okay.
Yeah, it is 6.
Okay. Yeah, success. All the flavor.
Success. Let me double check something. It is not a critical 6. It's not 3 over. Unfortunately, it is. They do have a morale of 4. So okay. So that is a success on this one guy.
Okay. Then I'll do a trustworthy spend.
Okay.
To make it look like I'm a potential ally.
So you get 2d6 plus 1 of morale. Okay. Let's see how you do.
Good. I got 10 total.
Okay. So they're swinging and they're smack and slashing you and they're bringing this cudgel down and it looks like they're it's horrific, the violence of it all. They're literally brutes. They care nothing about subtlety. And then they pull back and they're oh no. No. And you see he's got this horrified look in his face as if he's like, I'm sorry. No, I didn't mean to. Oh my goodness.
How could you do this?
Oh no. Oh. And he starts to turn away and kind of stumble through the crowd. And he's just like, no, forgive me, no. As you get the sense that maybe he saw somebody he shouldn't have been, he's afraid of, but also at the same time, like you said, terrified. So he starts to flee.
Nicely played. Nicely played.
Let's get out of here, and I'll flee myself.
Okay.
Passing it to Arkadiy.
You made the cultist feel bad, and that gives me the warm fuzzies.
Okay. All right. So it's going to Arkadiy, you said. Is that right? Did I hear that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Arkadiy, you're up.
So Arkadiy gets this little half smile on his face, and he's flashing back to a memory of when he was a very young man in Luzrek. And the Ruska house was attacked by another noble house. And they had made their way into the main dining chamber. And he was completely surrounded, trying to protect his old babushka. And it was the first time he actually got to use the 2 C-axes that he had earned from that duel. And he remembers just basically becoming a whirling dervish and striking out at all of these surrounding foes, and that's the same stance he drops into as he whips his blades about.
Love it. Okay.
So, in addition to that +3, I'm going to spend 3 of warfare to get a +6 in total.
Oh dear God, you're gonna roll a 50.
I want to hit at least. I want to hit at least 2 of them. At least.
Are we saying
and if it works?
Are we saying the woman who's got the rabbit down her throat is your target?
Yeah, she's the primary task. Yeah, primary target.
Gotcha.
But I'm hoping to get a cleave action out of this. But
yeah,
if this does work and I get a cleave, I'm going to spend a point of spot frailty to get an extra damage dice. And remember, I currently bypass 3 points of armor for anybody I hit.
Damn.
It's gonna potentially hurt a lot. Oh, you rolled a 5 on that too.
So that's an 8 + 3 and 11 to hit.
All right, that'll be okay. So that'll be 2. So you could basically hit 2 extra targets. That would be enough to be able to hit 2 extra targets. And you do have 3 around you right now. There are 3 that are surrounding her and 2 others.
Perfect.
All right, I'm gonna total damage here. This is gonna hurt them so much.
And 1 more d6.
All right, so far up to 5. Oh, not a good roll.
7 points of damage. Shitty roll.
But
Shitty roll.
7 points of damage and your armor piercing is actually enough to take all 3 of them down. Because she was the big one, and she was already you've already heard her last step. The other 2 were kind of mooks. So we just see Arkadiy drop into a stance, swirling around one after the other. Her head
just starts spewing out of people, and
you finally get that last slash on her head, and so her head comes tumbling. The other 2 just are literally disemboweled and fall down in front. And there's this
he grabs her head by her hair and whips this decapitated head around and smacks one of the other guys, and it's carnage. I mean,
it just goes stumbling over, and there's an explosion of gore at the entry point into this inn. Okay,
he smiles. Now, quick question, Jeff, before I forget. Yeah. How many refresh tokens is that worth? Because I'm really low on warfare now.
Yeah.
All right, we've got.
I feel that
3 from Vincent's, 3 from the Rabbit Woman, and 2 from the others. That's a total of 8 between your last 2 turns. So 8 total from your turns. From Vincent.
Okay, if I take 5, so I can keep fighting.
Yeah,
please.
I think we need that right now. This is very important. I think I'm okay dumping all 8 into you, Aaron. I might need some after the fight, but I think you should take all 8 because you need to kill a lot of people right now.
Okay. Why, thank you. And I guess that means I have to pass it back over to the bad guys.
Yes, unless you want them to go twice. Absolutely.
I do not.
Okay, so
I do not.
The outside, there are 2 that were attacking Vincent along with the bouncer who just ran away. And then inside, there were 4, one of them being the bartender, and then there were 3 others as well. So I'm going to start with the 2 that are outside. Vincent, did you start to flee back towards where Fortuna was? Because she's calling out. You hear the sounds of Captain Solano and his sailors are calling. Reinforcements are coming. Once Fortuna's turn comes, they'll be here. Did you go back to where Fortuna was? Where would you be, Vincent?
Yeah, I retreated from the inn as far as I possibly could.
Okay. If that's the case, then in Arkadiy, are we saying that you stayed in the midst of the gore here, or what do you think?
I mean, he would have pulled back towards where he saw Solavita coming out to kind of guard Solavita and Chauncey's escape.
I think you would. They're on the back. I think they're on the back side. The way I'm flavoring it, so you could go back to Fortuna though. Fortuna is in your range
if he doesn't see Solavita and Chauncey, he would pull back to protect Fortuna for sure.
So we'll say Solavita and Chauncey went out the north side. You guys are on the south side, and you're moving towards back like Fortuna, Arkadiy, Vincent. You're falling back towards the river and the reinforcements of Captain Solano and his sailors. Solavita and Chauncey snuck out the back side, the north side, deeper into the village, but hopefully away from immediate harm. If that's the case, and that there are going to be the 2 outside are going to chase down the group of you, and that means that there's 3 targets for them to choose from. So I'm just going to roll randomly to see who they go after. One will go after Vincent, and the other one will go after Fortuna. So they'll come maybe intimidated by Arkadiy's sudden immense like
Yeah.
just the destruction of their allies. They go, one goes chasing after Vincent. Another one is like screaming "Shut up!" At Fortuna as the whistle continues to go. So Fortuna, you're gonna get one of these. Here it comes. That's a 4. And then on the attack, on the damage,
I am going to do the gain armor 4 for a round.
Okay. Well, I do exactly 4 damage. So you are able to mitigate all 4 of those points of damage. The second one is chasing after Vincent as the larger bouncer is now running completely out of the fight. They are gone. That's the equivalent. That's me flavoring him being reduced to morale 0.
Cool.
Okay. Vincent, that's a 6 to hit.
I'll do a point spent for 3 threshold.
Okay.
So I'll make it 7.
Okay. All right, then. So you come up. Is it like a magical thing, or do you think you just do something?
It'll be a Felonious
instinctively?
intent, so I know what's coming. It click
Okay.
in their minds.
You're running, and you can see Fortuna's face, like as she turns around, whistle still in her mouth, and you kind of almost maybe like the reflection in her eyes. You can see someone about to stab you right in the back, and turn around, are able to sort of dodge out of the way. Okay, so there are 2 now that are right up in the business of Arkadiy, Vincent, and Chauncey. Excuse me, Arkadiy, Vincent, and Fortuna. The 4 that are inside. All right, I'm going to say that they push outside, obviously, and I think 2 of them actually have crossbows. Yeah, so 2 of them are going to take shots, but the other 2, they can't do anything other than close the distance. So I'll get 2 shots. I'll do the same thing at the 3 of you randomly. Sorry, Fortuna. As they both shoot at Fortuna. Okay.
That's so rude. Shooting
So
at an old lady. That's cold.
I still have the armor
Oh, yeah.
4 for the
You do.
round. So
Yep.
it was a useful spend then.
All
That
right.
was smart. Yeah.
I rolled a 3. What's your health threshold?
3.
Okay, so that does hit.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to spend some points. So I'm going to
Okay.
get some extra damage. All right, that's 7 points of damage.
Okay,
So
so
you'll take 3.
I'll take 3, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then the second shot comes through. Also a 3. Damage.
Okay.
You're good on the second one. 2 points of damage. You're able to you're able
Nice.
to observe it. So 2 shots complying. They could just be firing into the group, and you just happen to be the one taking the hits. And you see they like basically stop right where the gore is to pull out their crossbows and fire, and then start to reload. Whereas the other 2, including the bartender whose arm was on fire, they close in. They can't attack this turn. But in terms of everyone understanding where everybody is, there are essentially 4 enemies amidst Arkadiy, Vincent, Fortuna, melee-wise, and then there are 2 that are at the door into the inn. Everyone's outside at this point. They both have crossbows. And Solavita, Chauncey, you don't see any specifically following you. We'll say you did so well in your burglary. I didn't want to steal it from you. Who hasn't gone yet?
Fortuna.
Yeah.
All right, Fortuna,
Me,
your
which
turn.
means that the other guys come up, right? Because
Okay.
of blowing the whistle. So
At this point, we can see Captain Solano. He comes rushing out of like the dockmaster area, and you can see coming with him. He has a couple of his sailors who are doing like the rowing you all over here, and you also see the cook Mario Clint, and you can see that they've got like, you know, the Captain Solano's got a proper saber drawn. You can see the 2 sailors are kind of carrying like the oars with them, getting ready to smack them. And you can see Mario Clint has got this big cook's cleaver that he's brandishing as they
Nice.
descend into the fight. Okay.
take them out. Take them out. We must safely retreat.
Okay. Sure. Let's see. So I will play with myself a little bit. You guys go ahead and take a minute.
No judgment.
One of us
Have
has
a
got
good
the
time.
cleaver.
Good, yeah.
Somebody's got the saber.
Oh.
Like we're all. We're
This
just
is
getting
always
NPCs.
the best part of GMing is hitting yourself a bunch.
Yeah.
I'm your dead wife.
And then I hit, and then I slash. Then I.
God dang. I'm your dude. What? You haven't watched our holler game. Go back and watch our holler game. God, that was so
my
funny.
God, that was funny.
That was the funniest stuff in the world. Oh, what a game. Okay, here we go. You have 4 allies. There are 4 targets. Each one of them is going to basically get a swing on one of these targets. I'm going to say Captain Solano, being the brave man, is going to charge into the bartender. The bartender is the biggest and meanest looking of the bunch left. He will swing. He will hit with a 6. He will swing down at the bartender. He will do 6 points of damage to the bartender. Bartender has some armor. And you can see as he comes charging in, right as the bartender is about to like swing down on you, Fortuna, you see a saber come up and parry it. And you just see him push him back and then thrust forward and slash across the belly. And so he's going to do some damage to the bartender. Again, bartender's from mechanical sense, he's like the biggest and strongest to the left. All right, then Mario Clint with his cleaver will come charging in on another, and he will roll. I don't know about you guys, I'm rolling fine. He will roll a 7 to hit.
See, this is
Killing
what we
my
need to
own
do.
people.
Listen, go take his dice away.
What?
No,
No. We let him
He's rolling
keep
for
fighting
our
himself.
Allies.
Just let him fight
he's
himself.
rolling.
Oh, I see. Sorry. Then that is
Vincent, the one that you dodge out of the way of, he lunges forward and kind of gives off his balance, and then this big meaty cleaver just comes right down and splits the guy straight through the head, killing him as the cook shows himself. And so that guy's gone. So there's now 3 near you, and then the 2 sailors start just beating people with oars. Well, that one misses, so that one doesn't. And that one hits. And we'll okay. Well, the second one comes up with the oar and is swinging wildly. It's this massive oar. Like everyone's kind of got a duck. Like Arkadiy, you're a professional man of war. Like it's kind of wild and haymakers, and he could potentially hurt people on your side. But he lands a lucky blow, and you just see like the side of the oar just eat like and dig right into the chin or the cheek of one of them, and takes him out. So there are now 2, including the big bartender, left amongst you all. There's a group of 7 of you now against 2, and then the 2 crossbowmen by the door. Okay, Fortuna, you still have your actual action to go here. So that was the NPCs. What do you do?
Okay, so do we have to the 2 that are left? I'm sorry, I'm just tracking. Are they kind of close together?
Yeah, you're all in a big ugly melee, I'm going to say.
Okay.
Because it was described as like Arkadiy and Vincent coming to you, and I was saying since they came to you, the fighting came to you, and now you're all in a big scrum.
Okay. So what I would like to do, and I'm willing to spend some preparedness and some stealth with this, is I would like to say that when these folks came back from the ship, that they brought with them some kind of like net or something, that I would like to use my stealth, use my preparedness, and just like throw a net over these last 2 so that we can like make an escape, so that they're like tied up in this like thing, and they kind of have to like spend a turn being like distracted.
Okay, flashback.
While we run away.
We're triggering again, sounds like. So we're going to do a flashback with your preparedness. So that we're going to need one of those first. So go ahead and give that a roll to see if they have the net on them, that you can grab them.
Okay, so I'm going to make a preparedness 3. So I'm going to make a spend of 3 on my preparedness.
Got it.
So I'm going to roll this at a +3.
All right.
I can't see what it is, so if somebody wants to tell me if I succeeded or not, that'd be great.
It has not come through yet. I don't see the number through. We're getting a little lag on our end, unfortunately, but I think we're still mostly here.
Yeah. Your
can you
frames
just
are
roll a
slowly
physical
coming
die,
back.
Melissa?
Son of a biscuit, I rolled a 1. I spent 3, so it's a 4 on the preparedness.
They
so
unfortunately
it's still a
do
pass.
not. Oh, they do? Okay, you do pass, you said?
Yeah, I spent 3 preparedness and I rolled a 1, so that's a 4. Okay. So I still passed the preparedness.
Why'd you say son of a biscuit? You passed. It's fine.
Well, because I rolled a 1. Like, I had to.
Still a pass. There's no difference between rolling a 4 and a 7 on this. Like, it's a pass, a pass. Okay, so they have the net. You grab the net. And now I would want a warfare test to to effectively get this onto them. So this is still going to be we're going to treat this like a fighting maneuver, so to speak. And I'll say, because you have the net, I'll say take a +2. So warfare +2 to try to entangle them with this net.
Okay, so I don't have any warfare, so I think that means I need to do a spend on an investigative to be able to let me roll that at a -1.
No, I think you always can roll warfare at -1. It's just a question. Yeah,
okay, so then it'll end up being a +2 then. So what I will do is I will make a spend on, let's say Liar's Tell, just to give me a +3, so that I can get something to add to it. So it'll be a +4.
Okay. How is Liar's Tell coming into this equation? This very complex turn you've given us.
How does Liar's Tell come into this? I feel like maybe it's something that she's seen a less than trustworthy person do before. So that's where she's like pulling from this bank of history.
What?
If you can sleep at night with that, that's fine.
Okay, so I got a +4.
I mean, you live in Eversink. Fishing nets everywhere. Oh.
I rolled
more
another
ones,
but I had a +4, so it's a 5.
Okay.
Wow.
You were able to get one of them then, because you would have needed to have gone 3 above the target to be able to take the 2. So we'll say you get one of them. I will choose to just be entangled. So you have one of these. We'll say the bartender, I assume, because he's bigger, easier to hit. Becomes entangled in this net. The other one remains free. Okay. And that is the end of the round. Fortuna, who's going first?
I mean, Arkadiy, because we dumped all of our refresh into Arkadiy to be able to fight. So I'm going to say Arkadiy.
Okay.
So, there are 2 crossbowmen that are reloading, and then these 2 guys that are right in front of us. One of them slightly entangled.
One of them,
so he's going to rely on, he's going to rely hopefully on Vincent to be able to get maybe at distance the crossbow guys, and he will just come in very tight, direct strikes in at the bartender first, and then if he gets a high enough score, he'll swing into the second guy.
Okay, sounds good.
So I will spend 5 points of warfare. And roll a 1. Because that's all we can roll tonight.
A 6 is
get a
still
6
hit
in
him,
total.
but it won't be enough, obviously, to hit the other. Yeah.
Fucking duck.
It's a 9 ones. It is
10 points of damage.
Yeah.
That's
that is
minus
more
3
than
armor,
enough to kill. Yeah. Go ahead and describe your kill. As this guy gets caught up in the net, you just took a slash from the captain. How do you finish him off, Arkadiy?
So you see Arkadiy come in low, and he brings his new Serpentine blade up under the guy's floating ribs, and it's just a really quick strike up through his ribs into his heart, and then it pulls it back. And it's so fast, you don't even really see it go in. You just see the guy drop. And so I will go ahead and spend my last point of Tactics of Death.
Okay.
To get a second attack on this other guy.
3 points in the refresh from the one he just killed. 2 more from the ones that the NPCs killed. So you have 5 more in the pool for refresh.
Okay. Well, I've still got 5 warfare, so I'll leave those in the refresh for now. But I will spend 3 points of warfare to try to get this when I attack this second guy.
Nice.
All right, finally,
that die
so I got an 8.
Almost went to a 1. I watched it almost
Not quite a
go
crit.
to a 1.
Not quite a crit, but it is absolutely a hit. Yes.
All right.
Oh, look at that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
So
that's
13.
2 6s. Describe how you completely obliterate this guy.
So he spins around and comes at this guy low too, and you just see him flick his blade up, and you realize that he severed the man's testicles and penis, and the femoral artery on his left leg, and his junk just falls out and blood just spurts everywhere.
Oh my goodness. There is a horrific. There's one giant pile of gore by the door. There is now another that has exploded on everybody in this melee, and then this horrible act of gore. But all four that charged in to your melee are dead.
Arkadiy's head is his bald head is just covered in blood, but he smiles and you can still see his white teeth.
Okay.
It's good day for a fight. Yes.
Okay. The only two living human-like people that were in here. Actually, that's not true. I would say the only two that are in play are the two crossbow folks. The large man that Vincent made cry ran away, so he fled. So he's effectively out. But Arkadiy, who's going to go next for you all?
Dear cousin Vincent, perhaps you can put these to rest and we can go back to boat and take nap.
Not much of a killer, but I'll deal with them. And I will cast more sorcery towards them.
Okay.
Give them flavor if I hit.
Okay. All right. They have identical stat blocks. So like who we target, it doesn't really matter.
Just one of the crossbowmen is fine.
Yeah, for sure. If you roll well enough, which you obviously don't.
That does not look good. I spent 2 for a 3.
There's a lot of ones.
All the ones. That's crazy.
So many ones.
It's
maybe
not great.
Unkind dice. So
maybe
unkind.
Vincent, as you begin to start going through the various machinations of your magic, of your sorcery, you get distracted because out of the corner of your eye, you hear the sounds of that man that you sent away still kind of like screaming. And when you look over, you can see that there are 5 very large snakes that are now pushing past him. One has stopped and wrapped him up and is now like, and he's like, but the other 4 are beginning to move in your direction, and that maybe distracts you. They're not right on you. They are moving slowly. Okay, this isn't Ice Cube's Anaconda. This is our Anaconda. And so they're moving fairly slow, but they are on the field at this point. You could easily outrun them if you wanted. Who goes next?
We can't linger, Arkadiy. We got to get out of here. And I'll pass it to Chauncey.
All right. Chauncey, Solavita. I will say the two of you in the back now, you're on the northern side of this tavern. I would say you hear the sounds of crazy violence up front. You hear the sounds of Fortuna's whistle. And Chauncey, you are alive due to the graces of Solavita. What would you like to do?
Hey, Chauncey, there are snakes incoming. We saw them on the way. Keep moving. I will heal you as you run.
Okay. Hey, you guys. Back to the ship. And
yes,
then
don't go towards our friends. Just
no, I'm not going to move towards them at all. But I do have a crossbow.
Oh.
Yes,
Yeah,
you do.
are there any enemies that are within line of sight?
I would say if you do some
Probably
movement
not.
first, you could probably catch one of them. Sure, I think you can.
It's
a
probably gonna
very
fail.
small tavern.
Because at this point, my TN is so high, but he would try.
The
I have
suffocation
faith in you.
difficulty is no longer apply because you are outside breathing. So you still just have the normal health penalty is kicking in. Yeah.
Okay.
So you pull it up.
Ooh.
Of course, this is going to draw their attention.
You got this. You got this. I have faith. Like the ones have to be balanced out,
You got to
Right?
have faith.
right?
That's good.
4.
4 would be good if it wasn't for the wound
4
penalty.
is a hit.
But
Oh,
the
you didn't spend
TN.
any points?
I
Okay.
didn't.
All right. Okay.
I pictured it as like an off the hip shot.
Okay. So you just come stumbling around, moving in the vague direction of the dock. You look over, you see blood everywhere, fighting everywhere. You see 2 figures are reloading crossbows, getting ready to point them at your family. And you just kind of do an off-the-cuff fire, and the bolt misses and embeds into the wooden aflame wall of the tavern.
Well,
They now
fuck it.
turn their attention. Okay.
Fuck.
Who goes next?
So Levita, what do we do?
Oh, I think we're about to give them 2 rounds in a row.
Oh,
Okay.
Has everybody else gone?
I don't think Fortuna actually took
I
her
haven't
turn this
gone
round. She took a turn
this
last
round.
round and then gave
Not
a turn.
this round.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
that's
good. I was worried.
You're okay.
It would make sense if I was the one who screwed everything up. I would be okay with that.
Okay.
So Levita is going to like run up behind where Chauncey is right now and go, okay, we need to move from here and take sniper shots as we go.
I'm
And she's
helping.
going to, yes, of course you are. So don't worry. There's only a little bit of sorcery in this. And
What?
she's going to like pull
No.
out a bunch of vials and
No.
soak a bunch of bandages with these vials. Oh yes, you're
No.
too weak to fight back at this point. So
I
I, don't
hate
know.
you so
Yes,
much.
Yeah, here we go. And she's going to
No.
spend all 8 of her bind wound points to get Chauncey to 0, which means he should be normalized.
That is not going to get him to 0. Your healing is half as effective as normal.
That's why he has
Because
negative
he's a-
8, which means it's
Yeah,
half
so
of
8
negative. So
should
instead
be a
of
straight.
2, it
But 8
is
should be
1.
If you spend 8, doesn't that mean you get 4 back? Not 8 back?
No, 4 would be
Oh, I'm
8.
sorry. That's
so
right. Because
8
you're
is
healing
8.
Other
somebody
way.
else. Yeah.
Oh
Because you're
my.
healing
Other way.
somebody else. That's right.
Also,
That's right. You're
I've
healing
got
about
8
16
bind
down to 8.
wounds, so healing myself is still
Gotcha.
equal as well. But for Chauncey, it should be a direct 8 because it would be 2. But
And he
it's,
goes,
yeah.
exactly. And I think it makes
Sweet.
sense to call this magical because it's
Yeah.
like this instant stitching of wounds.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh God! No!
Yes, sorcery.
No!
Yes, sorcery.
Oh,
Yes,
God!
sorcery. It's so good. It's so good sometimes.
No!
It's very good, actually.
No!
Oh, no, it's so nice.
No, it
Yes.
burns!
Oh, no, it's great. You feel your skin stitch back together? Yeah, that's
Oh,
good.
what
It's
is the
healing.
burn?
That's healing.
No!
It's
Stop!
no. This is healthy. This is healthy. Please stop drawing attention. It's
Oh God! Oh,
yelling
goes
really
in your
is.
direction.
There are 5 giant snakes coming. We really, and also the dudes that I'm hoping Arkadiy kills very soon.
Okay. Do you want Fortuna to go? Or do you want, which would give
No, we
whoever's-
gotta let
whoever
the
on my
guys
side's-
go.
okay.
We gotta let the guys go.
Okay.
See, magic. It's great.
I
still hate it.
am going to do
I love you, but I
morale
hate it.
tests.
It is a
I'm-
tool. It's just a user.
I'm going to do morale tests to see if these two hang in the fight. They do not. So they see the absolute carnage that has been done to their allies, and they begin to flee. And so you can see that they just start running deeper into the village, far and away. However, the snakes will go. One of them will linger back as they are crunching the fleeing one that Vincent sent away. But the other 4 will begin to slowly maneuver their way, and they are effectively right up next to the tavern. If they had 2 turns in a row, I would give them an attack, but because I don't have 2 turns in a row, I'm going to say that they will not get attacks. But there are 4 enormous snakes. Arkadiy, Vincent, Chauncey, even like especially Chauncey and Arkadiy. This is the type of snake that you saw swallow Chauncey's wife. So it is that kind of size, and you can see they're moving with great purpose, like they're coming directly at you.
Time to
and
exit stage left.
Yeah. Okay. So, and I will toss it to Fortuna. So Fortuna, you get the last turn here of this round.
I think I want to move, like just
Okay.
want to move us in the direction of the docks. Like I think that's
Perfectly
the
fine.
best.
Okay. So you start fleeing back through the small alley, around the dockmaster's office, onto the docks themselves. You can see where your skiff is. You can see in the distance, in the middle of the river, which I've always envisioned as like a really wide, like Mississippi kind of river. You can see the Andromeda is waiting for you. Okay. New round. I assume you're going to toss it to your allies. Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Let me ask you all a question. You guys can outrun them. You absolutely can. Does anybody want to do anything other than flee?
No.
I don't believe so.
Run!
Yeah,
Bravely run away!
I don't
Okay.
think we have learned
Yes.
of any reason to stick around beyond this.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, and I don't
Um,
know that we know anything that would be like helpful from distance or
Right.
anything. So
I'm gonna
But we
roll
are
a
making
couple
sure the rest of
morale
our
tests.
One good
comes
hit.
with us.
One good hit. Arkadiy would go down
Yeah.
anyway. So
Mm.
All right. I'm going to roll a couple morale tests for your allies to make sure that they run in the direction where you send them. They
If
follow
I can
you.
grab some of those refresh tokens, I can heal Arkadiy as well later.
yeah, and I also have. I also
No
I
disagreement
have
on
six as well.
Sure.
So
there's
your
5
allies-
right now.
your allies turn, they start to flee, they run with you all. One of the oarsmen gets so panicked, like, oh my god, I've never seen such. Oh. Literally jumps into the water and starts swimming. Doesn't even go to the skiff, just flees. The rest of them pass their morale tests, so they kind of fall. Like Captain Solana's like barking orders, and like no. And then you can see the sailor swimming, but the rest of you climb into the skiff. You can see the chef, one of the other sailors, even Captain Solana, like everyone kind of gets out, and starts backing away. It takes a little bit of time to get it moving, and then that's when you see coming around the bend, one coming over top of the dockmaster's office, one coming like through and then pouring out the window of the dockmaster's office. You can see these massive snakes beginning to close in on you. You're able to pull away, but you do notice they do not stop at the river. They have no trouble whatsoever as they begin to go into the water itself. And you realize that they move, in some cases, faster in the water than they do on land. So I would like, if I could please, since I don't think any of you grabbed the oars, we say that they did it. Someone give me a sway test to just try to encourage your allies to move.
Okay. Do you still have some left?
I do, yeah.
Okay, go for it.
All right, well then that was all spectacularly fucked. So incredibly fucked. But you know what? We made it. So fuck them. Move. Keep moving. Row. And screw their stupid snakes. And screw their stupid eating shit with their jaws coming down. Fuck you. We get out of here. You sons of bitches.
Okay, roll your sway. Oh dear God.
I will make a
Goodness
spin
gracious.
for that.
All right, buddy. You got this. There you go.
nice.
There's your
Nice.
high number.
They put their backs into it more than they ever have in their lives. And you make it back to the Indomita. But at one point, as like the ropes you're connecting to the snaps on either side of the boat to start bringing it up, you hear the sounds of screaming. You can see the one sailor who was trying to swim is quickly caught by one of these. You see splashing and flailing around, and then beneath the water.
Don't look. No.
However,
He
you
chose
all
poorly.
are up on the boat. You are well above the water at this point. And quickly Solano starts commanding his crew to begin making for departure. Okay. And I'll say that the snakes probably don't follow you as far as you can tell, but at a certain point you kind of lose sight of them as you start to peel off.
Meanwhile, Chauncey's just
dear.
peeling these bizarre snake scales off of where his wounds were. This is really strange, Sully. Why are they scales? Will you heal me?
Well, don't think about it too hard, is what I will say. You feel your vitality and your health come back to you. I think that's worth a little bit of weird shit.
No, he would just give you a giant hug, pick you up off the ground. oh my God!
Oh,
I
it's
love
okay,
you
it's
so
okay.
much. I love
Remember-
you so much. I love
Remember,
you so
you
much.
need to get back to Valentina and your children, right? So
And
keep
yours.
living.
And yours too.
Yes,
And-
yes.
Oh God!
Arkadiy will walk up to Chauncey, covered in blood, and he'll take his two bloody handprints and put one hand on either side of Chauncey's face and give him a kiss on the forehead so that he's got these bloody handprints on the sides of his head. Say, dear cousin, next time go into crazy bar, perhaps not separate from man who keeps you alive. Next time.
I thought you were going to talk to them. And so I was going to be all like, haha, I'm funny, silly man, while the serious man talks to you. And then
you've known me for many years now. How many times you see me talk to man? I come out of shadow, kill man. That's my job, yeah?
Well, that's the smart thing to take from it.
Arkadiy, how much of this blood is yours and how much is it other people's?
Most other people, quite a bit mine though, too. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
All entrails and organs on outside are not mine.
You don't mind a little bit of sorcery healing, all okay?
No, all okay.
Okay, here you go. And here's a 3 bind wounds, so 6 healing.
Oh, thank you. That gets me back to 9 health, so that's pretty good.
Fortuna's going to go over to Vincent. Vincent, you've been very, very helpful. You're very clever with the things that you do.
I don't need your praise. I need healing.
Well, that's what I was coming over to do. But, you know, do you. And so I'll spend 4 bind wounds, which will get you up 8.
That's true. Okay. I mean, I feel like shit because I got stabbed a bunch. But you actually, I don't really remember exactly what you said to me back there, Vince, but I feel better. And
good to see you alive.
I'm glad you're alive too.
I think Chauncey might appreciate a little bit of normal healing as well, because I did as best I could, but...
No, you did good.
But you do. If we were to put the number, like a baseline, like a 0 if we were to put the number on, you know?
You know.
So Chauncey, Chauncey, you're at 0.
I'm at 0. So
That's
she got me from -8 to 0.
Okay.
So Chauncey's just kind of doing like the whole weeble wobbles, but they don't fall down sort of thing.
Okay. I will spend 2 bind wounds to get you up 4. That's the last of my bind wounds.
Oh. Are you doing? I just want to remind you, you're still doing great, Fortuna.
This was, and we came here to gain resources. We are leaving with fewer resources than we came with. This was not what we thought it was. Haven was a false advertising, as they say.
I think the false advertising is recent, unfortunately.
We didn't get resources, but we fucked their resources because they lost people. And fucking them is worth fucking us. It's mutual fucking.
I mean, not if Arkadiy gets a hold of you. You're not doing that ever again.
No, I don't.
This is true. Did you see that cut? That made me smile quite a much.
I did. We all saw.
I missed it. I'm so sorry I missed it. But I
removed man's testicles and penis before severing femoral arteries. So he saw manhood fall to ground before he died. Makes me laugh on the inside every time.
That's a good vein to cut. It bleeds quickly.
The big, bald, like thick Morrow Clint just like slaps you on the back. I saw it. Just like continues.
See, he appreciates humor in battle.
I was a little distracted getting Chauncey out of a burning building that he started lit on fire.
They stabbed me so much.
And then he taunted them, so they stabbed him so much.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I apologize.
And Chauncey, you do you, as they say. I don't think you're going to change at this point in time. We know you.
I mean, man can change. I'm going to
I'm
live in the
glad
corner now.
to see that we have made it off of that area and back here. We need to be wise if we're going to finish what
At
we're here
least
to
we've
do.
learned that perhaps enemy forces of Borda have spread even farther and wider than we anticipated. So now we will be extra vigilant as we move through River.
We also we learned, I would argue, that we don't have if we do not get this resolved, it's only going to get worse. Like this is the beginning, and if if we give them time, it's going to get worse.
Would it be possible to like go track down, because we still have Relis with us, right?
Yeah, you do.
We weren't able to get resources here, but maybe to try to track him down and be like, so we couldn't get like traditional supplies from the city, but with his experience in the region, could he maybe use some of his survival skill to give us an idea of other resources we could gather in the area?
You want to make a spend?
I would love to make a
asking?
spend.
Okay.
Yes.
So for those of you who don't know, like he recruited Relis Cade as like your survival guide to go through the swamp and all that kind of stuff, which since none of you all have like, you know, any sort of knowledge of outdoorsman stuff. So he will say to you, like, well, there's a limited amount of things we can get, but there's plenty of food, resources the swamp can provide. We should probably put some distance, I think, first between ourselves and an horrible place. You all don't look particularly good. You might want to bring me with you next time. You're paying me after all. But there's plenty of things that we could get. All sorts of...
He's getting hugged. You miss
What's
getting
up?
hugged.
Yeah, he got
Chauncey
hugged.
just hugged him.
It's been a day, and I really appreciate you, and you should be appreciated. I know you're appreciated.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I just don't like getting stabbed very much, and I'm feeling a lot of things.
No one really cares for that. That's not a thing that people seem to care for. But I can speak with the captain when he sees fit. I can lead a party to the shore, and we can collect some supplies to replenish some of our foodstuffs and such.
Have I told you today that I'm so glad you're here with us?
No, but I appreciate that you appreciate me. It's very kind.
You should
you'll
feel
pay
appreciated
for this.
because you are a magnificent man. You're just the best.
Okay. Did you give him some
It's
sort of
part
tonic?
She
of the
made me drink
potion.
something that it kind
It's
of glowed in a funny way, and it tasted like a cat
a
pissing
lot
in my
of
mouth.
high alcohol percentage, yes.
Or shitting. I don't know if it's a cat shitting or pissing in my mouth. That's what it
There
tasted
may have
like.
been a few drugs in that, like special fun drugs
to know the
help
flavor
you.
of. But, right?
I was an orphan, you know, and so I know many interesting tastes.
Okay, well, I'm going to let you rest now. And
I'm not
gonna
going to
go
touch that.
speak with the captain. Yes. Okay. So yeah, he'll go off and he'll do exactly what you said. He will speak with the captain. He will your spend will effectively make it so that you don't have to find another way to get reinforcements and such, and resources. And
Resources, yeah.
Okay. Are there any other things that you wanted to do? Otherwise, you can get back to river travel, if that is your desire. Okay. All right. So we can say then some, more time will pass, obviously, on the river. Again, the river, if you've seen it on the map, it's almost comical, and it's large. These large curves. You go north and then far south, and then north. It's like this squiggly line, almost like a frequency bar. And so you start peeling southward for a while, and then eventually you'll start to pitch around northward again, and that'll take a day. And so you all can also heal if any of you still need to. You can do your natural healing, which is effectively 2 of each, for general recovery as well.
Lovely.
Thank you.
we will say then that very early the next morning, you all are awoken to the sounds of kind of like a security call. You just hear like whistles, similar to like what Fortuna does, and like a little bit of a bell as well. And when you all come out of your cabins, your hammocks, you see why. As once more, just like the day before, the river is flooded with mist again, and you can see that the same procedures are being taken. You can see lit arrows are being kind of fired left and right. You can see some of them are sticking in trees or on the shore, and you can kind of see the glimmer of fire here and there. And then you hear the shout from bow of the ship, where Captain Solano and a couple of the others are staring out, and then he calls back with panic to essentially stop, reverse. And you see like everyone just suddenly scramble to try to like slow the ship down. And the reason being is that in front of you on the river, as the mist starts to part a bit, you can see this tall obelisk begin to grow up out of the water itself. And it literally grows as you're watching it. You see it just, it's just a small, almost like iceberg type peak out of the water, but then it slowly starts to grow. And the mist begins to part. And as you look at the obelisk, it kind of reflects light in all sorts of odd ways. There's a cloudiness to the sky today, so there's not full light yet, but there's enough that you can see ahead of you. And suddenly, as the mist goes away and you look behind the obelisk, the river splits into like 7 different directions. You can see each of them, kind of one's going off, veering this way. All these different tributaries. It's almost like a dizzying mirage in some ways. It makes no sense, and you glean that from what you overhear from many of the sailors saying like this isn't right. This is what sort of witchcraft is this? Sorcery. And they're like looking over, and like some of them are whispering and like kind of pointing over towards Vincent and Solavita, who at this point they've seen you all do sorcery, so that is probably slipping around a bit. Is anyone, or any other beats happen, does anyone want to follow up on that? Anyone see anything or do anything in particular, or want to locate their character or a particular place in this scene?
I mean, I have an idea based on what you've described, but I'll wait for other stuff leading up to it.
I'll head to the front of the ship, see if I can get a closer look at the obelisk that just rose.
You
come up, would as well.
You said 7 paths, right?
I'm sorry, say it again?
You said 7 paths?
Yeah, there's like at least 7 paths that seem to be splitting out behind the obelisk. Obelisk is this. It's almost it's not quite as wide as the ship, but it's fairly wide. It's like a good 3 or 4 times the width of your central mast, and it's literally grown. You've seen it grow out of the water, and then and everyone's kind of whispering and kind of panicking. This is not supposed to be you. This is not something that they've seen.
So
before.
Obviously, like, this is a fantasy world, and like, you know, the faith here and like the constructs of it are different. I can't help but my mind immediately goes to like 7 deadly sins, and we are dealing with a place that's full of like corruption and sin. So like I could see Chauncey trying to be like, okay, so each of these is a different path that you go based on your terrible choices you've made, and we have to choose one. And so which one best reflects, you know, the bargain that a family would have made? Does that make sense? Or am I just still really drinking the cat piss?
It wasn't cat's piss. Don't call it that.
Perhaps drinking cat piss, yes. Perhaps.
I don't know. Okay, I'm sorry. It just... But
it is a
So
traditional
Arkadiy
family
would be-
recipe.
What's Arkadiy doing?
Arkadiy would be reaching out with his prophetic senses, whether or not he has to make a spend or not. But his eyes are closed. He's kind of got his fingers spread, and he's almost trying to act like a human divining rod to determine what path past this obelisk we need to follow to get to our destination.
Okay. You can make the spend. What you'll receive is you will get kind of a tingling will begin to overwhelm you to some degree. and you watch like another ship come up. You're not sure if it was before yours or if it's from the future or the past. It's hard to particularly tell, but you see a ship come to this very same situation. And as you're watching, you can see the obelisk out in front. One of the crew kind of steps forward and kind of does some kind of ritualistic motion and calls out to the obelisk. And you see this swirl of water begin to pool, kind of just like a whirlpool right at the base of the obelisk, and a figure kind of forms from it. And you see this like half wave, half human. Like the base is a wave, and then the torso you can see almost human-like. It is translucent, and it is certainly made from water, and you can even see like fish and other particulates sifting around in it. And there's some sort of exchange that's being had, like they're giving out some like they're paying some kind of homage. And you see that suddenly the path no longer is split into these 7 different ways. It is narrowed to one, and the ship goes off. You see a second ship approach, and this time you can see sort of a similar situation happen, except this time, you hear the sounds of like as crossbows are essentially fired down at this figure, and they clink off the obelisk as the wave dissipates. And then once more, all of the different paths converge, and there is one, and you see the ship travel down it and immediately crash, and as it looks like they're suddenly run aground and tip over and collapse against the river. So you just see like a series of these images of people coming to this and seeming to summon some kind of figure that seems to be associated with this obelisk.
So he would go over to Fortuna and call Vincent and Solovita over. But I have, with my mind's eye, I have seen many paths through here. We must go to obelisk and use ritual to summon up watery face spirit or elemental and make bargain with it. Bargain with truth with it, so that it will collapse the paths into the true path. If we bargain falsely with creature or attack, it will send us to our doom. But this is sorcery and is not something I understand. But 3 of you, now you have all information you need. Make this go right now.
We can work with this.
Your sight is very helpful.
It's a little helpful.
It tires me greatly, because I now no longer have any prophecy to spend.
Can I spend like a point of Outlanders to see if I recognize what this figure would have been from? Like if it's something from
not Outlanders,
outside?
but I could take a spend from something else.
Okay.
You are still relatively close to everything, so this isn't really an Outlander situation.
Fortuna, do you have forgotten lore left?
I do not. What do I have left?
If anyone has, if they want to burn some allianced, like the alliance of a sorcerer's cabal, you could potentially have lore or knowledge of this from study and discussion with other sorcerers. That I would take.
I only have enemies.
So Vincent,
Vincent?
I've used that already, but I still have forgotten lore, if that works.
Okay, yeah, you would totally,
nice.
yeah, if you want to make that spend, you would know 2 things, I would say. First, you would know that this obelisk is, it is something you've heard and read about as well. It's like a sort of a folkloric story. Usually it's mostly rivers. Sometimes it's in the sea, but more often than not, it's rivers. And it's a water godling, in this case, a river godling, a kind of a deity specifically of the water. Not evil, not good, just this is their domain and it is to be respected. And so that's, first of all, what you would know. And then secondly, I would say with that spend, you would probably know some kind of ritualistic gesture that you could potentially make to call it forth.
Okay. Put our head together. I've been reminded of something. Just a water god.
Okay. Do we need to give it anything or just like bow?
Don't know what it wants. So we'll find out when I call it.
Okay. Well,
Fortuna will look over to Chauncey. Chauncey, did you hear what Arkadiy said? We can only speak truth to this, so we must resist the urge to
I'm
use our
so truthful.
way.
Chauncey, if you want to go
in
sleep for like an hour while
untruthful
we do
ways.
this.
I can help with things. I'm not your anchor. I'm not your burden.
I
You're
know
not.
I will go take a nap.
Not at all what I
There's
was
a lot of
saying.
magic stuff.
Okay.
Treat me like I don't know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing.
You were the king of BS. And this is not the time for that, it would appear. from
Bullshit.
what
It
Arkadiy
apparently
told
cat
us.
shit too. We've learned he is
Uh,
many shits.
So
all
much
the
Okay.
shits.
So Vincent, what do you want to do?
Yeah, when we pull up close enough to it, I'll enact a gesture. There's a phrase to call upon. Summon
Okay.
the god.
We warn
Okay.
the crew about what's going to happen before it happens.
All right. What does it look like? So Vincent, describe what it looks like as you're like kind of going through this little ritualistic machination.
Yeah, I set up at the front of the ship. Close my eyes, wave my hands around. Slight mutterings, phrases don't understand, can't even understand myself. Until the whirlpool forms.
And you see, much like Arkadiy's dream, the whirlpool begins to swirl and swirl. And as this is happening, those of you that might be looking down at the water, you notice the current of the river itself seems to have shifted and changed. And you can see that no longer is the current moving in the same direction that it has been before. It almost seems as if it's become still, and in some cases swirling, as if this very creature has the ability to command the current itself.
It's working,
And you
Vincent.
see-
It's working.
You see growing from that whirlpool this swirl, this inversion of it, and suddenly a figure, again, humanoid of shape, arms, torso, a head that curls upward, relatively large. So if it was a human, it would be a decently sized one. And you can see swirling around in their body, in their form, there are these little fish, like kind of swirling in and out. You can see like sediment, river sediment, and things as well. And Vincent, you're up front. Captain Solano's probably up here. He's probably sent the rest of his crew back, and anybody else who wants to be up here is more than welcome to. But you hear a voice, all of you up there. Who summons me and would tread upon my paths?
I, Vincent's guy, Main Wallen, called upon you.
What is it you offer, Vincent Guy?
Have to offer more stuff? Oh, God.
I know, man. I'm just gonna like.
Oh,
You're not gonna remember your name by the time this campaign's over.
Yeah.
Old man.
We can offer knowledge. We know we have information on interesting architecture or magic. What would please you?
Roll a. I'll let you choose. You can just do sway if you wanted. That's totally fine. I would give you if the type of knowledge you were offering was sorcery inclined. I would also allow a sorcery test if that's what your preference is.
My
But I would
preference
want
is
to
sorcery.
test here.
Okay. I will
Make spends as per usual if you want to.
Yeah, I'm going to
and
dump
that's-
all the leftover sorcery points I have. So that's 5.
Okay, so a total of 5.
Yes. I rolled a
Okay.
2. My dice luck is terrible.
Roll 1d6 plus 1.
Oh no. 1d6 plus 1. That is a 5 again.
Okay. Okay. So you offer knowledge of sorcery, knowledge of the architects. The architects themselves, you would know this more than your family members, that even they have amongst themselves sorcerers, though it is something that they keep hush hush. But you can tell that they are interested.
Oh, this sounds very interesting. But why do you assume I do not have this knowledge already? Do you think of me a fool?
I would never assume that I know more than you, but I am humble and, well, I'm not actually, but I would like to try.
Lie!
It is what I have, I think I am best at to offer any capacity to teach anybody else. It is what I am best at and what I would try to give to you. And if not, maybe somebody has something that would be more interesting or that you would enjoy.
I will take this knowledge. What else do you offer?
I look over at Fortuna, Vincent, Arkadiy, and the passed out Chauncey.
Guys, you know what you need? You need some hot goss. You need to hear the juiciest stories. You've been stuck out here in the droll swamps. Oh no, my darling. You need to know the nonsense that people get up to. We are stupid, selfish, greedy little beings, and we create such horrible little webs of drama for ourselves. Oh, I
You
could tell
could judge
you so
us
many
harshly.
stories.
You could spend so much time judging us.
You offer me stories?
Yes.
Stories of your human exploits.
Yes.
Roll sway test, Chauncey.
Okay.
Nice.
Can I spend my scurrilous rumors to get a bonus towards that?
To get a plus
Ooh.
3? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do that. Because he
That's
basically,
perfect.
he intentionally is trying to just feed it like the sauciest nonsense stories to just, against its better knowledge, like just really kind of be into it. So we'll add a plus 3 to the end of this. So we'll make that a 10.
Okay, that is a crit. Roll 2d6 plus 1.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
I just crit a river spirit with gossip.
You did.
I'm so happy
That's
about
for
that.
Chauncey. This is what
Saucy
Chauncey
gossip.
This is what Chauncey does.
Where's my plus sign on that?
Definitely one of those encounters that could totally be diplomatic or totally not. It's really sort of up to you guys.
Thankfully, we saw the vision to
We
do
saw
it.
what happens when it's not.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So 8.
8 total. Okay.
I think the first dice roll was the
We hear Chauncey just like going over all of this various gossip stories of Eversink, noble backstabbing and debauchery. And this all takes the span of like 20 minutes of these stories. And at a certain point, as you go to launch into another one,
That is enough of that. I grow tired of your stories. What else do you offer? Or is that all?
Arkadiy walks up, and I don't know, maybe he had a prophetic inkling that he was going to need something special, something that would draw the attention of a water god, maybe a particular carving or something. And I want to make a preparedness spend to have had this not even knowing why he brought it, why he needed it, but in this moment realizing that this is the gift that he needs to give this spirit.
I like it. I think okay. So to do this by the rules of the book, we either got to do. I think we got to do a flashback, right? Don't we got to do a flashback for this?
It depends. It depends on how rare this is. What you're saying, but yeah, potentially.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I'll just say make a preparedness test, and I will just increase the difficulty. We'll just do that. Okay. I'll just increase the difficulty slightly. Okay.
I am spending 6 points of preparedness.
I like it.
Oh, wow.
For a 10 in total.
Okay. I will say because I increase the difficulty, that won't be a crit, but roll a d6 plus 1. And I don't know. What do we think it is? You come from Luzrek, which is known as a land of ice, right? So is there maybe something that you brought from there that is somehow the motif of ice?
I think it's a minor ice. It's an ice sculpture of one of the minarets in Luzrek, but very stylized. But it's been ensorcelled so that it never melts, so that it's forever this ice sculpture. And he brings it out and places it in the water god.
So you place it like you guys are having this conversation from your boat down towards where it is standing, and you see from the side of the boat a wave wash over the bow. And it's not one that is heavy, it's not one that is going to sink you, but it is one that gently crashes down. And once it's done, you can see the offering you made was pulled down into the water, and you see the swirls of the water itself. And then suddenly in its hands, the hands of this liquid god, you can see it is examining it.
This is quite extraordinary. Thank
From
you.
a far frozen kin of yours, perhaps, in my great city of Luzrek. May you enjoy it always.
Ah, the icy flows. It has been quite some time since I have ventured there. If it was just you who sought passage, this would be more than sufficient. But you bring with you a lumbering mass, wood and filth, and the price for passage is much higher. What more do you offer?
Also, the first thing that we're going to offer is a welcome into Stronghold D&D. Welcome in, Raiders.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much for that.
Hey, Raiders. Welcome.
Awesome.
Hello,
Awesome.
hello.
Hope you had a good game. Okay. What's the second thing we're going to offer then, Blessing? Here did you?
Oh, no, Vincent was going to go. Sorry, I spoke over.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Long. What you got?
Yeah, we'll give you space in Denari's domain. The canals and space around our manor.
You would give me a threshold. Denari does not share her domains kindly.
He's switching out one god for another in Denari's land.
An invitation, however, that is very intriguing.
Roll a sway test, Vincent. Take a +3 on this. This is pretty awesome.
Nice.
That's a great. You keep coming up with these great ideas. These like nice little narrative ideas. Okay.
A sway.
Yeah.
Can I add my enemy of the Church of Denari to it?
I would take that for sure. This
Ooh.
would
Awesome.
definitely rile them up.
Cool.
Wow.
Plus
it.
6 to it.
Okay, so you've got
It's an 8.
Oh, I rolled
Okay.
already? That's why.
So would have
It would've
been,
been
a
plus
sway.
6 to that 8.
Okay, so yeah, it would have been an 8. Okay. Okay.
Wow.
I accept this offer and this invitation. It has been some time since I have seen the waters of the human city. Tell me, are they as putrid as I have believed?
Filthiest.
Then I must purify them.
Roll a d6 plus 1. You also, if you want, can make a spend to get an extra d6 on this. Treat this like an attack. Like it's very much like, I know they're not attacking them, but it's mechanically the same difference. So if you wanted to get a second die, you could spend, if there's a point that you wanted to spend, you could, which would give you a second d6 on this.
Yeah, I'm running out. The only option I have is like charm.
Okay. If you want to, I would take charm for sure.
Okay.
Perfectly fitting.
Hey,
So
girl,
2d6
let me tell you
plus
about the
one. Oh,
putrid
God,
tide
that's
back where
terrible.
I'm from.
Only 4.
Okay. All right.
Such a hit in the nads.
Oh, God.
Okay. They,
I accept your invitation. I, however, have a far higher threshold for who I invite into my water. You all seem a very intriguing lot. I will not shatter your ship against the shores, but I have not been convinced that I should allow you further travel. Do you have any more to offer?
Fortuna, I don't think you have gone yet.
I have not gone yet.
All right.
So
Such a bad roll, Vincent. Such a shame.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
we rolled so many ones and twos. So
You guys have done
many-
It's been a rough night.
Really
So
well.
many low rolls.
You guys done an amazing job of not getting into a fight here. So
Yeah, we're definitely trying. So in terms of what Fortuna has left to spend, she's got nobility
okay.
as an allegiance that she can do some spending with.
Okay.
So I would. You know what? I don't have any equipment. I don't think that would help with this.
You don't have
So,
to give a piece of equipment. You can literally just make something up. That's
Yeah,
all we've been doing. Just make
I'm
stuff.
gonna go with nobility. So I will do a spend on nobility, and I will try to regale her with some stories. So like Chauncey was kind of bringing her up to speed, bringing this entity up to speed on current things that have been going on. And so Fortuna
The
would kind of
hot goss,
share.
specifically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hot goss. Yes.
I was going very lowbrow, and now you're going highbrow.
Very lowbrow.
Yes. And
Yeah.
Fortuna is like all of her years and years and years of poring over all of the genealogies and all of those
Yeah.
kinds of things. And so that's what she will kind of go into, is that she's again sharing what I have to share with you is the wisdom of years of traveling amongst Eversink and reading all of those books and things. And I do not deign to assume that the life I have lived is in any comparison to the life that you have lived, but I can share my perspectives that I have seen and read and heard.
I think as you babble, like they kind of scoff almost politely at the suggestion of you're providing knowledge of a life, as this is a godling you were speaking to. However, as you start to regale them with histories of the main ones, and you dive into the stories of like the Pirate King Falcone, merchant ships, merchant fleets, seas. These are things that you can see catch the visions as you start telling tales of different oceans that they have not yet traveled to or have not in quite some time, like the icy flows of Lusarek. So yeah, go ahead and make your spin. You can make a sway test.
Okay.
And I will tell you that if you fail, they will then get to take 2 turns in a row.
Oh,
You can do it.
Nikes.
You.
You got this. You got this.
I've got 3 sway left.
You can
Okay.
do it.
So I'll
Spend it all.
spend the 3 sway, and then I'm getting a 3 from my allegiance spend.
From your nobility, sure. Oh god.
Got another freaking one.
I rolled another one.
Christ.
Still
I
enough.
think that's all I rolled
Still
today.
enough.
Oh
But it's a 7.
Still a
God.
7. 7 is still a
7.
success.
Oh
Yes.
God. Just-
Roll a d6 plus 1.
All right. So just
see.
add +1 to this. Oh my god! I rolled
Okay.
another one.
It just
Absolutely.
the dice
Unbelievable.
hate us
Statistically,
so much
unlikely.
tonight.
It's okay.
Crazy.
2.
It's okay.
2.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. They think for a very long while. And they take that little figurine that Arkadiy presented and they stare at it like kind of longingly. They look to Vincent about, and they think about the canals that they can now freely go into, because since you have invited them with to inside of Denari's domain, otherwise they would stay away.
I am not entirely convinced that you will leave my domain unharmed. And while I will offer you passage, know that I will be watching you. Each moment of travel, so long as there is a drop of my water that you are near, I will hear you. I will see you. And if you should harm any within my water, you will face my wrath. But for now, you may go forth with my blessing.
And you see behind them, all of the streams converge until you see one tributary branching off. You see Solano knows exactly what to do, calls out orders. You can see the obelisk begins to sink back into the waters. You can see the whirlpool figure starts to dissipate. And then you hear like one last bit of warning as the ship pushes towards the tributary and the water like splashes up and over. And as it lands on the deck,
Heed my warning.
and then the Indomita takes the tributary and you begin to travel into the darker, swampier lands of the Grasping Mire. And that is where we'll go ahead and end for tonight, and we will pick up on that next week. We're near the end.
Excellent session,
Awesome.
everybody.
That was awesome.
Ugh.
I like
That
it.
was
Was fun.
long.
Little bit of fighting, a little bit of diplomacy. Look at this.
Long,
Yeah.
long. Kudos like 3
It's
times
good.
over for great ideas.
It's good, man.
Super
dug it.
creative.
Absolutely.
I will also grant you guys 7 refresh tokens, actually, for overcoming that encounter without actually that turning to blows. Because
Thank goodness.
Awesome.
so there you go. Got 7 more to play with. You can figure it out now. You can wait till later, whatever you want to do. But that is it for us. Let's go ahead and let's do a couple closing plugs, and then we'll get on out of here. So I'm gonna toss it down to Aaron, because Aaron, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do over on Garblack?
Thank you very much. So next Thursday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, you can check out the Garblag Games YouTube channel, where we will be doing the finale of our initial Otherscape run. It'll be the last time to join Johnny Geist in the Ghost Train as we hunt down the main necromancer and the other baddies. Then after that, Pete is going to be jumping into the seat, and we're gonna check out. We're gonna give Daggerheart a spin in his own World Edge Mountain or World Mountain setting. So it should be a lot of fun.
That sounds like awesome. That sounds like an awesome time. Absolutely awesome. Okay, as for us, let's talk first about our dear friend Steven and how he's been making this wonderful game called Huckleberry. You can find out more information over at huckleberryrpg.com. You can hop into our Discord, ask him questions about it, and you can also go on DriveThruRPG and grab the Quick Draw edition so you can see what it's all about. In a couple months, we're going to have it up on BackerKit, so you can back it then, get all sorts of fancy, awesome stuff. If you are interested, and you should be, because it's a lot of fun. Western, horror, cinematic, good time. It's a lot of fun. In terms of streaming schedule, tomorrow night, Aaron will hop into the GM seat as we're going to be running through some Dragonbane. We're getting near the end of that campaign too. Then on Saturday, we've got Call of Cthulhu. We are smack dab in the middle of a 27-year campaign. So it's probably going to take till retirement age, but we're halfway through it. We're going to get back to it on Saturday. Monday, if you like Swords of the Serpentine, if you like Gumshoe, if you like Kevin Culp games, we are playing through some Time Watch as well. Our little sci-fi time traveling shenanigans. We are back in 1969. We just shot down the Apollo 11 with sort of crazed time. I don't. What am I calling them? Time, I don't know. They're kind of like they're some weird offshoot of the Catholic Church, but they worship
cyberpunk.
Time. Yeah, cyber monks, cyber chronic.
Cyber
That's
monks.
not right.
Cyber monks.
I like it.
Cyber monks sounds cool. So yes,
yeah. And then on Tuesday, we've got Mystery Flesh Pit National Park, the RPG. Kipser has been running us through that. We jump forward to 2007. And we learn about Hot Fuzz. So it's a good time. All right. I also want to say thank you to Crit Crafters and Stronghold D&D for the raids tonight. We really do appreciate it. If you haven't followed them, make sure you do it. We're going to pay that raid forward. We're going to find some of the raid. I'm going to put us on the end screen first and then figure out where we're going. So other than that, thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for watching. We'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Arrivederci.